Come see us doing live shows. We'll be in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only jimmydore.com. So here's the funniest take on the series. These are the people I talk to, Western media fans. These are all my friends, comedian friends, everybody. Because everybody consumes Western media, and they think it's the truth. And this is how funny it is. Watch this.
Come here. It's great what's happening in Syria, isn't it? It's great that the Syrian civil war has reignited. Not for Syrians, I'd imagine. Well, you know, Iran and Russia backed Assad, getting his arse handed to him. Up the rebels, huh? Oh, wow. So you support armed resistance against a notoriously brutal regime like Hamas? What? No. They're terrorists. The guys in Syria are rebels. CNN and BBC said so. You know, they're kind of like the Rebel Alliance in Star Wars. You know, those rebels are effectively Al-Qaeda and ISIS, yeah? Like the Americans would back Al-Qaeda, mate. You're not a Putin puppet now these days, are you? Their leader, Al-Jilani, literally founded Al-Qaeda in Syria. Used to be deputy to the founding leader of ISIS. Probably went a bit crazy on a gap year, did he? Listen, mate, they couldn't be Al-Qaeda or ISIS. The US are over there fighting ISIS. Really? I think they're mostly there to control Syrian wheat and oil. I mean, Trump and others have said so. Oh, okay. So you're an Assad apologist? Absolutely not. You can hate Assad and also hate self-serving US interventionism. Well, someone's got to step in. But who asked them to? I mean, when are they going to finally stop meddling in the region? When has it ever worked? Iran in Russia, Iran in Russia, Iran in Russia, Iran in Russia!
By the way, I'm going to say I like Assad. I feel bad for him. He's a better human being than Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Probably all the presidents of my lifetime. I would say he's a more upstanding, better president for his people than anyone we've had in my lifetime.
He gave his people health care.
And they had health care.
I want to show you. This guy says something that I've had said almost verbatim to me. Let's listen, and I'll show you. What's this?
Come here. It's great what's happening in Syria, isn't it? It's great that the Syrian civil war has reignited. Not for Syrians, I'd imagine. Well, you know, Iran and Russia backed Assad, getting his arse handed to him. Up the rebels, huh? Oh, what?
So when this is very similar to what I had a conversation. I was at dinner with 3 different comedians from Boston. I was here in Studio City. We're having dinner right after the Ukraine war had started. And one of them turned to me and said, I'm enjoying watching Putin get his ass kicked all over Ukraine.
Is he still watching?
And that's what prompted me. That's where I came up with my line. I said, is there anything you hear on cable news that you don't believe? Is there anything? And then I said, the next thing I said was that, you know, we did a coup there. We got in bed with the Nazis, Azov Battalion or Nazis. And literally they said, Jimmy, that's Putin talking points.
So it would be mine too if I was fighting. If I was fighting Nazis, it would be one of my talking points.
You wouldn't go, why do you say that, Jimmy? You go, that's just Putin, because that's been put in their brain by Rachel Maddow, Anderson Cooper, and Sean Hannity. Oh my God, you're using Putin talking points in Ukraine.
There ain't nothing smarter than a Boston Democrat.
What?
I've often said it.
It's remarkable.
Boston elected a Chinese lady that don't invite white people to her parties.
I've seen, Kurt, I went on Facebook for 5 seconds today and I saw something stupid. I saw a comedian friend of mine saying how people who voted for a convicted felon are upset that Joe Biden's pardoning a felon. I'm like, what? And then he said, and then someone said, yeah, but it goes back to 2014. And the guy said, oh yeah, when he was on Burisma, and there's never been a crime found. Yeah, because no one's ever investigated it.
Okay, number one, the fact that he worked at Burisma I consider a crime. What are you talking? Here's how I know he's guilty. A crackhead worked at an energy company. Guilty.
How
the hell does that happen? I know crackheads. They don't have jobs like that.
I mean, that's what you run into. That's why I can't go on Facebook.
No, well, you shouldn't anyway.
It's just like, what?
I used to be addicted to Facebook.
All my
I
old
got
friends are,
burned
every
raw.
time I go on there, I can't believe I'll see, every person I ever knew in my life has commented on this thread. I'm like, they all live on Facebook.
Mhm. That's the old people one now.
Yeah,
That's
well,
old people.
I'm old now, I guess.
Yeah, but it's for old people that are still like in some kind of like cable media thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know
Either way.
I know I look fantastic.
Well, you know,
I
think
certainly
like all
don't
these
look like
dumb-
what I thought 50 years old looked like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I thought, I'm 50. We all remember Todd Glass used to do that joke.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
When I was a
50.
kid, none of the ages are the same as they were when I was a kid. Like 60 when I was a kid is very different when I see somebody 60 now.
Yeah, like you're just about dead when you were 60 when I was a kid. My dad retired at 57 years old. My dad, the only thing he didn't do was he quit smoking when he was 40 and he didn't drink alcohol. He never worked out. When he quit smoking, he gained a lot of weight, got a big gut, and never lost it. And he never watched, he ate crap every night of his life, ice cream, candy, and whatever my mother made, they ate cheese out of a can.
Oh yeah, that's a classic, a nice 1950s canned goods. It's like my grandpa.
If you buy Parmesan cheese in a can that's already grated, you know the garbage they have, all the chemicals that's in that. They have to put a non-clump.
Preserved.
It's all preservatives. Plus, it's so it doesn't clump up.
You don't want it clumping up on you.
So anyway, but the point of this story is not how poorly my dad ate, but that he retired when he was 57 because he was sure he was going to die in a few years.
When he died,
he didn't die till he was 93.
My grandfather too lived to be, I think 96.
So my dad was retired. I used to say this longer than I've been a comedian. I started comedy in 24. My dad was probably retired longer than he worked. What's 93 minus 57? I don't know. I'm not a math surgeon. That's 40. 40. Yeah.
The great Charlie Sheen said, "Winning."
Is it 36?
Winning.
93 minus 57 is 36.
Please ask Suri.
I don't trust her. After I saw what that Anna Navarro happened to her with The View asking AI questions, she looked like a fool.
So if I became a full-time comedian in 1995, 10, 20. So yeah, he's retired longer than I've been a comedian, right? Am I wrong? How long have I been a comedian? 30 years? 1995, I became full-time. I started comedy. My first open mic was in the late summer of 2009. I mean, of 1999. No, 1989. Yeah.
Whoa.
So I didn't want to get a job. I had graduated.
That's why I did it.
I had finally 36 years. Yeah, but I didn't. I went full time in 1995. So when I quit doing brickwork, it's funny how people say, "Oh, Jimmy came from money because his dad owned that construction."
Who said that?
People say it online, and I'm like, my dad, he used to drive a paddy wagon just for kicks. He was just rich business owner. My dad had a fucking pickup truck we parked in our garage. That was our business.
Listen, my dad was a turd farmer. No, who cares? I don't give a rat's ass who came from money. I don't know why people get hung up on that. Like, if you're saying a thing that's false and bad, I don't care if you suck if you're poor. Like, if you're not telling the truth, it don't matter where you came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're telling the truth, that's all that matters.
Come see us doing live shows. We'll be in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only jimmydore.com.